All right. Can everybody hear me well? Since I have the microphone. Oh, I'm getting thumbs up. Awesome. All right. So this is an awesome concurrence of events, anyways, for me, because I get to talk with you guys. I want to talk about value proposition. I want to talk about how it is really important in your digital strategy. Of course, we're going to be talking about digital strategy and value proposition, so that means I need to present myself because you guys don't know who I am, and I just want to tell you a little bit about myself and what I do and why I do it, because I am really, really passionate about digital marketing. I've been doing it for over 17 years now. It says 16, but it's 17 now. I'm the director of business development at Reptile, which is a digital agency. I also am a speaker for digital strategy. I do it in businesses. I do it in schools. I actually do it with also people with little kids in grade school. Really important, by the way. If you don't talk with your children about digital strategy, they're being aimed by that strategy right now, and it's a good thing to educate them on that reality. I'm also a journalist in Quebec, where I talk about anything that has to do with technology, anything that has to do with stuff that almost everybody doesn't really know about, so like Facebook, YouTube, and all that stuff. I like to talk about it on TV. I'm also a coach for digital strategy in incubators. What incubators are in Quebec anyways, they're the new stars. They help startups start up, and I'm a coach in 3 of them in Quebec. And I also give classes at the Université de Sherbrooke in digital strategy, specifically to people that start businesses that have a business certificate going on. So, now that I've talked about myself, let's move on. We have to talk about digital strategy, right? So what that means is I'd like to give you a Canadian portrait of digital strategy. So a Canadian portrait. Here's a Canadian portrait. Okay, I'm allowed to do dad jokes, right? I have 3 kids. Come on, so it's a portrait. All right, so seriously, what's a digital portrait of what's going on in Canada? Right now, we are 36.46 million people in Canada. And out of that, there's 33 million people that are connected to the internet. Stuff that you probably already know, but it's important to know if you don't. Active on social media, right now, there's 23 million people that are active on social media. And that are active on their mobile, there's 31.61 million people that are active on their mobile out of the 36 million people. And then when you bring their forces together, what do you get? You get 20 million people that use their mobile to go on social media. Really interesting. Let's go a little bit further in what people use to go on the internet. How do they use the digital world? So the mobile right now, 73% of mobiles are smartphones. So that means that people can use them to go on the internet. 50% of the web traffic is on mobile. What that means is for every 1 and 0 that's sent through a cable, there's 1 of them that's used by a mobile somewhere. Not only that, people spend, in average in Canada, 1 hour and 42 minutes a day on their mobile phone. What do they use their mobile phone? They use it for? They use it for emails, they use it for social network, they use it for searching, they buy products, they listen to music, they listen to videos. They use their mobile phones for pretty much everything that's available on the internet. If we go on, personal computer. What do we use a personal computer for, and what are the stats that have to do with a personal computer? 45% of web traffic is done on a personal computer. So just for people that are not good in math, I'll help you with that. 50% for the mobile, 45% for the personal computer. We're already up to 95%. That's almost all of the web traffic. And people are on it 5 hours and 45 minutes a day. People, if you work on your computers, you're supposed to spend at least 8 hours a day. Come on, what's going on? So but sincerely, of course, the computer is used more than a mobile, even if it's not for the same percentage of data that's used, because people actually work on their computers. And what do they do on the internet with their computers? They read their emails, they go on social networks, they search, they buy their products, they listen to music. There's a trend here. There's something that's going on, right? If we go on next to the tablet. The tablet, which I wrote in French, I'm sorry, but the tablet is 5% of web traffic. 5%. For people that are a little bit in the know, tablets are not selling that well anymore. It's not like something that's used that much because people have what we call in French phablets, or they're like the phones that are really huge now. So the use of tablets is less and less present. But just to get back to what this point I want to make, what do people use tablets for? To send emails, to go on social networks, to buy products, to listen to music, to listen to videos. See where I'm getting at here? No matter what you use to be on the internet today, you're going to be doing pretty much the same things. Sometimes the proportions are different, but a couple of years ago, there was this big trend where people thought that if you were on a mobile, you weren't going to buy a product. And if you were on a tablet, you were going to use it for another purpose and another one. But the truth is, no matter what you're on the internet today, whatever you're on the internet with, you're going to use it for probably one of the same things. Everybody has concluded a sale on their mobile phone today, which wasn't the truth maybe 7 years ago. So it's evolving, but what we need to know is that the marketing that you're doing and the messages you're sending online are not dependable on what the person is using. If I go forth, there's also another channel that's new, and I just want to talk about it because this one is an exception. People don't use it to go on social networks. Anyways, not yet, and they don't use it for all the same things. It's the television, smart TV, and consoles. So very, very low web traffic. Depending where. In my house, it's used a lot. I have 3 kids, I told you. A lot of web traffic on the console. People spend 2 hours and 18 minutes a day on the console or on the smart TV. But there's an augmentation this year of 33% of the data that's used by this new channel. So it's something that we have to look into because it's going to be part of the reality really soon. And what do people use this for specifically? Well, it's a TV. So people use it for streaming Netflix, YouTube, and all that stuff. They don't look at me on TV anymore. They actually use all these streaming services, and regular TV or traditional TV is used less and less. So if I move on from that, I needed to give you guys a portrait. Like, what's the landscape in terms of digital use and the different mediums that we use for this digital reality to look into something. I want to do a test with you guys. I want to see if you guys are good with your digital strategy. So I'm going to do like Eminem. I'm going to ask you guys to please stand up. And I'm going to ask you to participate in this awesome test. So how this is going to work is I'm going to be asking you questions, and if the answer is no, you sit down. And you do not get to stand back up, okay? We want people to stay down once they've sat down. So first question to see if you are good with your digital strategy. Do you have a website? So if you do not have a website, please sit down. Thank God nobody sat down. I'm so happy. This is not a joke. It has happened to me that people have sat down, like a big number of people. Okay, so I'm moving on. So is your website responsive? Does somebody not know what responsive is? Okay, awesome. That's perfect. All right, so is your website responsive? If not, please sit down. Awesome. Are you on social networks? If you are not on social networks, please sit down. You guys are awesome. All right. Do you have newsletters? If you do not use newsletters, please sit down. There we go. You're the only table that sat down. I'm sorry. All right, so moving on. Do you work on SEO? And what I mean is, like, you really work on it. If you do not, please sit down. I don't believe that. I think there's more people that don't work on it. All right. Do you work on SEM? So I'm guessing that if you do not, please sit down. Awesome. So people that are still standing. I passed a lot of channels right here, right? So the people that are standing, I just want to yeah, good job. Does this mean that you guys are good? You can sit down now. It's okay. So does this mean that you guys are good with your digital strategy? Who says yes? Who says no? Grumpy Cat says no. How do you become good with your strategy? There's different steps. And by the way, I know the title of this presentation is Value Proposition. It's a cornerstone to your success. I'm getting into it very soon. How do I become good with my online strategy? First, you have to understand that a user's intention is different on the different channels that they use. And the once that you understand this is the moment that you're going to start having success. I'll give you a concrete example of this. I work with a business that is in natural science. They actually build or they construct pills for to help you sleep and omega-3s and all that stuff, okay? And they came to see me, and their objective was to sell over $100,000 a month of products. They had 3 months, and they asked me, okay, so what do we do? 3 months we had to get to that objective. Most digital agencies would maybe say, okay, well, let's build an e-commerce. No, let's take a moment and look at what the different channels exist are and what the user's intentions are. What are user intentions? They can be, I want to be inspired, I want to buy something. In this case, this is important. I need directions, I need information. There's all sorts of different information that people want to get online. In this case, I was directly working with the intention of buying. Which channel do people use majorly here in Canada to buy stuff? Does somebody know? I'll give you guys, okay, Amazon. Does people know Amazon? Amazon, people go on that, when they're there, they want to buy. So I had a choice where I could build a website, an e-commerce website for this company, and it will take more than 3 months to make sure that it happens, and then I have to get the results, or I can just work on getting the results right away and go directly on Amazon. So every channel that exists with an intention that has to do with the user that goes on it. So we went on Amazon, and the sales were there, and we got the results that we wanted in 2 months. So the reality is, it's not always just like, okay, I need to go on this channel because that's like the logical thing to do. You have to think of your user. What's the user intent? And that's also what's the link in terms of user intent into your value prop. So, cool story, bro. How do I really apply this reality? First, you're going to play Guess Who. So, we played a game before. Do you know what Guess Who is? Does anybody not know what Guess Who is? Thank God, everybody had awesome childhoods. So Guess Who is a game that does exactly what I did with you guys before. Everybody's up, and then you ask questions, and then when you answer those questions, you hide people. And at the end, you find out who the other person has. In this case, for example, I know that everybody that sat down needs to come and see me at some point. So moving on from that, you as a business have to actually think of that also. You have to play Guess Who. Hey, who is my client? What is he looking for? Does he wear a hat? Probably, I guess, when it's cold. So actually, what you're going to do is you're going to build what we call a persona. And seriously, it's worth the time and effort to really give them a name, to really give them a picture, or her, a picture, give them a description. What are their pains? What are their gains in their lives? What are they looking for? Building a persona will actually help you aim the right client. And you'll see, eventually, you're going to be calling your clients by the names that you put there. Hey, I want to get Clark. Hey, is this message that I'm sending going to talk to Clark? Is this really answering his needs? Once I know who I'm talking to, I need to know how I'm going to talk to them. And that's where we finally get into the value proposition. What's a value proposition? Well, let me get into a second test, if you will. And no, just stay down. Don't need to get up again. All right, so right here, I just want to, by a raise of hand, on your website, who talks about their products and services? Right? Everybody, almost everybody. So I'll just give you an example. These are two restaurants that probably mean absolutely nothing to you because they're in Quebec. So there's the Buononete, which has a menu with pizza, pasta, and all this Italian stuff. Awesome food, it's really good, and it's high-end. All the Canadians in Montreal go there to pick up chicks and eat food. And then there's the one on the left, has the same menu. Pizza, pasta, same entrees, same menu. But it's Boston. Oh, actually, you guys probably know Boston Pizza, right? And Boston Pizza is another restaurant that has the same menu, but they don't cater to the same people. So if I were to present just my products and services this way, what am I battling on? I'm battling on a price. What I'm battling on my competitor is we have the same stuff. So your client's going to come to you and he's going to go, oh, you guys both have pizza. You guys both have spaghetti. You guys both have bruschetta. Awesome. So I'll go with Boston Pizza. It costs less. You need to really work on what's your differentiation? What makes you different from your competitors? Because there is something. If you cannot answer the question, what you do better than your competitors, or what are you the best in the world are, You need to work on that because there's nobody else that can do it if you can't. Who is your consumer? That is part of the message that you're going to be sending online. You need to use your digital strategy to help you qualify who you're talking to. Your value proposition sometimes can be based on who you're aiming. I'm guessing you guys all know Stripe. Stripe is a payment processing system, and among all their strategy, one of the personas, like the Clark Andrews that I had before, one of their personas is web developers. Because if you want to have somebody work on your payment processing on your website, you're probably going to ask a web developer. And who is the web developer going to refer? Probably Stripe, because Stripe offers web mobile payments built for developers. It's made for developers. PayPal doesn't do that. The others don't do that. Stripe does that. So that's their value proposition. That's their unique selling thing. It's their way of differentiating themselves. Hey, us at Stripe, our payment processing is made for you, Mr. Developer. So when you talk with your client, tell him that he needs to use me. So that's one way of using your value proposition to talk with your clients. It's really important. And now it's on a website. And actually, all my examples are on a website. But the reality is it can be done through SEO. It can be done through SEM. It could be done through social media. You just have to take the time of thinking of who you're talking to and what the message will be. Moving on. What is the pain in the butt for your clients? Because your product, your services are there to help ease a pain or maybe create gain. So what I mean by that is, are you a remedy to something? An example? When I give examples, the goal is to be really simple. DuckDuckGo. So me, myself, as a marketer, I know I'm being traced everywhere. I know that I'm going to be remarketed, and that when I go in Amazon and I fill my shopping cart and I say, oh, buyer's remorse, and I go somewhere else, on YouTube I'm going to get I'm getting tracked, and on YouTube I'm going to get another commercial publicity and all that stuff. So I hate being tracked. DuckDuckGo offers me a search engine that doesn't track you. I'm not sure if the people in the back can see it, but right here, it's written, the search engine that doesn't track you. So my pain, me, as a marketer, is that I hate being tracked. And what does DuckDuckGo do? They allow me to have a search engine that doesn't track me. So it's eliminating an irritation that I have. My pain in the butt, or my sickness, is that I don't want to be tracked. And DuckDuckGo answers that. That's their differentiation. That's why they're different from Google. They're not saying we have better results, because that would be false. What they're saying is, I'm going to give you results, but I'm not tracking you, you know? Moving on, do you create gains? I was talking about gains before. So if we go into Lyft, everybody knows Lyft. I saw the awesome commercial on Dunstan on Yonge Street. It's really, by the way, it's my first time in Toronto, and that commercial, like that place, it's crazy, it's awesome. So anyways, I just wanted to get back to this. Rides in minutes. What's the gain? Like, my pain is not to have a ride. Getting a ride is possible. Like, you can call your friends, you can call a taxi, but the gain that I get is that I get a ride in minutes. You know, they come right away. That's awesome. That's their value prop. They are telling you, hey, with Lyft, when you call us, in minutes, there's somebody that's going to be at your door and that's going to bring you somewhere. I wanted to take a competitor and show you what they did on their website. It's called Taxi Brassard, and it's written at the bottom, parties and special events. They are a taxi service in Quebec. And let's say I am an old lady that's coming out of the grocery store and I need somebody to bring me home. I go on this website with my mobile phone and I see parties and special events. I'm like, oh, that's not for me. That's for parties and special events. That communication is so lousy. This is a counterexample, by the way. If anybody, I doubt it, but if somebody from Taxi Brossard is here, I'm sorry, but this is not good. Not good. So you really have to take the time of thinking, who am I talking to? And what am I offering them? Which gain am I creating for them? Which pain am I eliminating? Maybe it's that. Who am I aiming? And that's what will help you have success online. Another thing is what I said before. If you do not know why we should do business with you, you need to work on that. That's important. You need to pass as many hours and days to discover what differentiates you from the others to be able to find that, because if you do not, you'll never have the good argumentation to convince your clients. So if we go on forward, ladder. So there are so many websites that exist with different jobs, and that they show you that they have volume. Like Indeed will show you so many jobs, and Monster will show you, so we have volume. So Ladder came into the market, Ladders, and they had another way of showing themselves. They have something that's differential. They help you move up in your career. So they don't have a volume of people of jobs. They have 225,000 high quality jobs. They want to help you move up that ladder, therefore the name. That's what their value proposition is. That's how they differentiate themselves. And this value proposition, this differentiation, this thing that makes you guys unique, you're the unicorn for somebody. Why? Because you're not like anybody else. And you're going to think about that on the different channels that exist. Email, social network, you need to think about all the different channels that we passed before, your website, all of that. You got to think about your user and what he's looking to do on the channel he's on. For example, you sell, I don't know, roofing. The people you're aiming are on Facebook, for example. If they're on Facebook and you just have an ad to say, you want new roofing? Call this number. You might as well just take your money and put it out the window. It's not a good way to work. When people are on Facebook, they have an intention. And where they are on Facebook, they have an intention. Most of the time when they're on Facebook, it's because they want to see some news. They want to see what's going on with their friends. They want to stalk people they went to high school with. They want some entertainment. That's what they're looking to do on Facebook. So if you're just there and you cut their experience with something that has nothing to do with what they're doing, you're breaking their experience, and you're actually creating a negative sentiment towards who you are as a business. So a good example of that is there's a cellular company that was on YouTube, and they were on a pre-roll on YouTube. And by the way, pre-rolls on YouTube are so badly used. You guys need to work on that really hard. So as you probably know, the ads that work best on YouTube are the ones that you can skip after 3 seconds. Well, in this commercial, the guy in 3 seconds tells you what his business does, and he comes and he pushes himself on the button. That was an awesome use of that channel. So that's what you want to do. You want to think of what channel you're using it on. You want to measure what's going on, and then just use it efficiently. So that's how it works. And that's what I was going to say. Actually, that's what I just spoiled where I was going. So are you calculating your cost of client acquisition? Are you calculating how much it costs to stimulate a client? Because maybe you offer a lot of services, and a client came to you for one service, but doesn't know that you have all the other services that you offer, so you might have to stimulate him. Do you want to create client fidelity? If your services or products can be used over and over again, how can you do that? And there's a dollar sign that you can put in reality to how much you invest to create that truth. There's one thing that's really hard today, is attribution. I'll give you an example. For example, I want to buy a bike. Go on Amazon, put the bike in my cart, I'm like, this is so expensive, I don't know, I'll think about it. And I leave Amazon. Then all of a sudden, Amazon sends me an email. It's like, hey, you know what? That cart you just abandoned, here's 10% off. Maybe, I don't know, I'll go see another day. Then I go a week later on YouTube, I get remarketed, I get another commercial about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a cool bike. Click on it, go on to Amazon.com, re-add it. Then I get to the shipping, and I live in Canada, so the shipping is really expensive. Oh no, screw, I'm not buying that. No. And I leave. Then I get another email, and it says, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you free shipping this time. I'm like, oh, I'm sold. Bought the bike. So there's this big journey I went through, and the attribution is often given just to that final channel, like that email that I got at the end. But the truth is that when I visit Amazon at the beginning, it's also important in that journey, and it should be part of the attribution to the sale. So to be efficient, you really have to think of the intention. What I mean by that is, at the beginning, when I was on Amazon, I was looking for a bike. My intent was looking for something. Then when I abandoned the cart, they know I had buyer's remorse. So my intent, or what they wanted to create, was to bring me to an intent to buy. So they sent me an email with a percentage off. Then I was like, no, you know what? So they know that that percentage is not good enough. Went on YouTube, I clicked on the link. So they know I'm still interested. My intent has to do with me wanting that bike still, but I was in an entertainment purpose. So anyways, I click on that, go on Amazon again, and then shipping was too expensive. So they know that I was in intention to buy, but I said nope because of the shipping. So it's always knowing what the intention of the user is, and then you can act on that. And that's what allows you to start calculating what investment you can bring on which part of that journey that the user has and what intention they have on the channel. You know that example I gave about the company that that was in health? It's important that you realize that you don't have to work on every channel. Even if I passed like a lot of channels before and there were a lot of people standing up, remember I said that's not what makes you good, and it's true. Because maybe you are on Facebook, but you're on Facebook, but your last post was like a month ago. Well, you're not on Facebook. Come on. You're just there, but you're not there, you know? So you should use the channels that really work. If you do not have the time and you don't have the budget to have somebody do your social network for you, don't touch social network because you're gonna scrap it. Or at least if you do it, calculate how much it brings back. The goal is to treat digital marketing like you treat any other type of marketing. So how to make sure you are profitable with your online strategy is to treat it like business. This is the business model canvas. Does anybody not know what this is? Oh, yes. Everybody knows what okay, awesome. So when you do your digital strategy, you really, really need to take the time to treat it like a business and do your business model canvas. Your value proposition. This is so important. You have to take the time to do it, and your customer segments also. So the customer segments, as I said, is you play guess who. Because if you're aiming everyone on the board, you do a post on your social media and you just boost it right away. You don't know who you're aiming necessarily, and you just put it to everyone. By the way, don't use the boost button, go in the platform. But what I want to say is, if you aim so many people, you're not going to get as many results as if you know that you're aiming for Andy and Ashley. These two people, I know they want my product, and they're in intent to buy in accordance to my products. So how are you going to make sure that you have an efficient digital strategy today that will be profitable? Is to make sure that you think of your value proposition, and then after you communicate your difference to the right client with the right message at the right time. That's really what it is. That's all. Thank you so much.